Holy shit, I almost quit the SummerSlam review series. Yeah, with the FIFA World Cup and a bunch of good movies coming out, I almost really didn't care about continuing the SummerSlam review series, especially given that this was the follow up. Now, there was two really good matches on this show, but man, did it take forever to get to those damn matches because holy crap, 1996 was the last truly awful year in the WWF before they went on to become the Attitude Era. And there was a lot of stars missing for 1996. Bret Hart, Ultimate Warrior, Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't even in this show. It was just a train wreck from hell for 1996, and everything about this show was just a drag, and I almost gave up on continuing this series. Let's just talk about it. Savio Vega versus Owen Hart was a decent match, but really I can't really think of like what was the reasoning for this outside of maybe Stone Cold was injured and they needed someone to fight Savio Vega. So here you go, Owen. And then they clearly didn't know what to do with the tag team division because they had just had four tag teams formed together to do this blob, and it was just really dumb, boring, and forgettable. You had the New Rockers, the Godwins, the Body Dons. I know people love the Godwins now that they're friends with the Undertaker and they were part of the BSK, but dude, these guys are terrible in the ring. I'm sorry. At least the right team won, the Smoking Guns, Billy and Bart. That's the only good thing I can give it, but this was just really bad and gets worse. Psycho Sid is in this show, and then he faces the British Bulldog. Yeah, that's a great way the lesser than star beats the British Bulldog. I know they were trying to push Psycho Sid to become the WWF champion later on, but this was such a boring match and dull. At least it knew what it was, so can't really fault it for that. Um, Goldust defeated Mark Merrow. This was just it was clearly supposed to be a mixed tag team match. It wasn't that, but around this time when Goldust was one of your top players, that says a lot. I like Goldust, but 1996, whew, he was unbearable. He was a little too much for me. Who else was a lot too much for me? Jerry the King Lawler. He faces Jake the Snake Roberts, beats him. This was around the time where they were just burying Jake the Snake Roberts. After his drug problems, they talk about his drug problems here. It was just super bad, and this was just abysmal to watch. It was just such a drag, and I really do feel bad for both men involved. But at least this led to Jake leaving, and I don't know what he does. I don't know if this is around the time he gets sobered up, but yeah, this was a really terrible time to be a Jake the Snake fan. But we get the boiler room brawl between the Undertaker and Mankind. It was actually really fun. Probably my match of the night. A lot of people hate this match, but it was really cool that most of the match took place backstage. It was just like a big fist fight from the backstage. This is like when they started really testing the waters of being a backstage brawl. This was essentially the first cinematic match in history, if you think about it. And I like that Mankind won the way he did because this was their way of kind of pushing Mankind. We already know who the Undertaker was, but Mankind was just this very scary type of character, and it was different and unique, and I really appreciated that. So this match was really good, and I really enjoyed it, and it was a great way to push Mankind to the top. And eventually, Undertaker does get his victory, so I can't really fault it for that. Another really good match was the main event, Shawn Michaels and Vader. I know a lot of people hate this match because it buried Vader. Yeah, around this time, the WWF hated Vader, and this was a testament to it. But they managed to pull off a really good match. I really like that they did build up Vader into being this vicious monster. If anything, I wish Vader won the WWF Championship and he went on this lengthy run because Vader is phenomenal. One of the most underrated big men of all time. Over time, he's gotten his flowers. Luckily, he got into the Hall of Fame recently. Unfortunately, he didn't get to give a speech. He had already passed by then. But damn, this is a good time to be a Vader fan. Even though this was slowly going to transition to his downfall. Shawn Michaels, they were obviously trying to push him to be possibly like the next top player in the company. Shawn Michaels was a solid worker, but he was a better heel WWF champion. Even though it led to the Montreal Screwjob, which a lot of people hate, rightfully so. But that run of him being a heel as the champion, as horrible as it was, Shawn Michaels was really getting heat. Here, he was just like the babyface workhorse, and it just wasn't clicking for a lot of people. You know, it just wasn't it. Even though he had great matches, it just wasn't selling, if I'm being honest. Luckily, they figured it out the following year. But, anyways, this show overall, it's just a two-match show. Everything else can burn in hell. This show was very boring to watch. I'll give it a C. I'll give it a C. The really saving graces are the last two matches. That's really about it. Anyways, take care, and I will be continuing on the SummerSlam review series, especially now that we're moving in towards the Attitude Era. So, wish me luck on that. Take care, everybody.